A violent crime at Nancy Pelosi's San Francisco home. A man is under arrest after police say he broke into Pelosi's home and attacked her husband, Paul. Sources tell CBS News he was shouting, "Where's Nancy?" before attacking Paul with a hammer. We continue our coverage right here on The 4. I'm Heather Myers.
And I'm Carrie Lane in for Carlo Cicchetto. It has many people wondering, has it really come to this? The answer is yes. Our political reporter Morgan Reiner has been talking to politicians and experts today about how we've gotten to this point and what can be done. Good evening.
It's easier for a political science professor that I spoke to today to point to when this hateful political rhetoric took a turn for the worse in our society than it is for her to point to a solution. She said she thought that January 6th would be the turning point for many to understand that words have impact.
State Senator Scott Wiener is no stranger to death threats.
I've received thousands of death threats over the last several years, including some very, very scary ones, threats to decapitate me, threats to decapitate me and send my head to my mother.
Just recently, a jury convicted a man for threatening Wiener after he introduced vaccine legislation.
I testified at a criminal trial before a jury last month in Martinez about a guy who threatened to come by me with a rifle.
He believes it's gotten to the point where lawmakers need more security.
So I think a lot of lawmakers are in a terrible spot where you have to start paying for your own security. And I'm not wealthy. So many lawmakers are not wealthy, and yet we have to sort of take care of ourselves.
Ever since I got elected 10 years ago, I've had threats here and there, as have most of my colleagues.
Congressman Ami Bera said they get resources for security and take it seriously, but finding a balance is hard.
Our job's to be with the public. I can't do my job as a representative without actually being out there interacting with my constituents.
And knows that leaves room for vulnerability. Director of the Project for an Informed Electorate and Sac State political science professor Kim Nalder explains how this political climate came to be. 1, social media.
This demonizing discourse is so much worse in the era of social media because there's no gatekeeper.
2,
but it's really amped up in the Trump era and especially since 1/6. In the last few years, we've moved from just disagreeing with political opponents as, fellow Americans who have different views on policy to this demonization.
And doesn't have much hope.
I remember thinking on January 6th, watching how they were calling for the hanging of Mike Pence, their own vice president, right, of their own party, who Trump had chosen as his running mate. They put up a gallows on the Capitol lawn. I really thought that might make a difference.
Condemning this is a step.
What we need is for every elected official and every person running for office, regardless of party, regardless of history, to come out and very strongly condemn this and ask people to stop.
I think we've got to turn the volume down on some of the political rhetoric, the attacks that go back and forth, and both sides are guilty of it.
And if condemning this attack and hateful rhetoric isn't enough, Kim Nalder said the younger generation has less of a tolerance of it and they will start voting soon. Now, this type of rhetoric is not exclusive to one side, but I did reach out to the California Republican Party to ask them to respond to Democrats pointing their finger at Republican rhetoric. They sent me back a statement saying, and I quote, "Violence has no place in politics or in society as a whole. We condemn this attack."